Shalom, my people. Shalom. Shalom, my people. Shalom. I'm here on this Saturday morning what people call New Year's. Really, New Year's, this is not our New Year. New Year don't start to the springtime. So you know you can't have a New Year in the winter. Everything's still dead. So New Year's in the springtime. But that's what they tell you. But that's what I'm not here to teach on. I got other brothers, Hebrew Israelites, they teaching on that. But I'm still teaching on the proof that Esau, it's the so-called whites of the day, because we must know that, because this is a stumbling block to us, because we just can't seem to get over that. It's like a stumbling block to us to realize that they are the people of the Bible. Because once we get past that stumbling block, we understand who we are. Right now, we stuck there. Well, my niece got married last night, right? So I'm in the World Golf Village, where she got married at. Real nice place. So you go in there, it's like about golf, or everything on the wall. Greatest Tiger Woods is and was doing golf out this whole big old place in the area where they had all the history of golf. You might have seen 20 or less artifacts about him. It's amazing. So this world haven't changed. Esau ain't gonna never change, because that is their nature. But I came across a picture, and I'm gonna show you this picture. It used to be up in the 60s and 70s. I'm gonna show you the picture, but they took it down because it identified who they were in the Bible, so they took it down. Look at that picture. Look at that picture right there. That is a picture of an eagle landing on the moon with like a branch or a nest in his hand. I want you to look at that closely. If you can get it, that's a picture of an eagle on the moon. It's the original picture when they first landed on the moon. Remember that now. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go to Obadiah. This is not my message. This is part of the proof where it is. It's part of the proof that I know who they are, and you must learn who they are. But check this out. Though this is Obadiah 1 and 3. Though thou exalt thyself as eagles, and though thou set their nest amongst the stars, this will I bring them down, saith the Lord. Because see, they think they're above all nations. See, God gonna bring them down. I just showed you a picture they took down way years ago, because they didn't want nobody to relate this into the Bible. Though they exalt themselves among the stars, the star ain't the moon is among the stars. Ain't they got an eagle and they got a nest there amongst the stars, because they where they landed at. That is more proof that this is who they are in the Bible. But you will never understand that these people are deceitful, and you must get this in your head, because if you do not, then that means that you will not understand what they are doing to you as a people. You will not realize what they're doing to you as a people. So I must get this across to you for you to realize it. So I want you to go to Malachi. Go to Malachi 3 and 6. Malachi 3 and 6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, you son of Jacob are not consumed. God changes not. God loved us. He always loved us. He always had loved us. He said, I change not. And I hear people saying, God changed not. Well, why the church keep trying to get you to run away from the law, statutes, commandments? Because that is a downfall of us, because that is killing us, because we don't realize what they are doing to us. That is a downfall of us, because we don't understand that we are still up under the law. You still up under the law, because without a law, you cannot have a nation. That's why we are divided, because we are not a nation. Everybody else got a nation because they are under their law, and you trying to follow their law and you don't fit in. So that is what it says. I'm just going to get you scripture where it say that Lord don't change us. This is in the Bible. So I want you to tell me whether you get the preacher when the preacher said that you can't do the law. But when God said the law, I don't change now. I change not. Go to Hebrew 13. 13, 8. 13, 8. Jesus Christ, the same yesterday and today and forever. He changes not. So I don't care what them pastors tell you. You have to go by the Bible. The Bible says we rather believe man than to believe the God. That's how I tell you Christianity is a joke. It's whatever that pastor say when they can actually read what the Bible say, and they still rather believe what the pastor say rather than believe what the Bible say because it fit their narrative. They don't want to change for their narrative. Everything fit their narrative, so you don't want to change. So you'll find any kind of way to bend the rule to make it fit you. I had a person come to me, and they said they got arthritis of the knee swelling up, and they limping. They actually limping. Can't walk. It's swollen. It's big. Went to several doctors, and they called it some kind of chronic arthritis. And she said, my sister gonna give me a machine where I can exercise and walk. I said, what good is that? I said, your problem, you eat shrimp, crabs, lobsters, and shellfish. I said, that's your problem. She didn't want to hear the answer. They think it's a medical reason, but it's what you eating because you disobeying the law, statutes, and commandments. God just showing me every day that by disobeying the law, statutes, and commandments, consequences come behind it. Catch what I said. Consequences come behind disobeying the law of God. That's why your knee swelling, because you got arthritis, and arthritis come from eating shellfish. Why don't the doctor tell you that? Stop eating shellfish, and your problem will cease. But you love shellfish so much that you willing to walk around when you have to sit down. You young. You're not old. You're a young person. Your body look good on the outside, but it's tore down on the inside. You're trying all these remedies, all this different stuff, but God say do this, and you will live. But you rather than listen to God, you rather go through this pain. That's what I don't understand. Oh, it's crazy, man. Rather listen to God, eat a dietary law. They're telling you how your body can be healthy. They giving us shots and stuff that they're targeting the man, they're making the man feminine. Because they put it in food that you know you like to eat. Making men get men boobs. Make them get breasts. So they're making them feminine. Make their penis shrink. So they doing stuff because they know that you are a nation that is above all nations. Deuteronomy 7:6. God said, I made you above the whole planet. You're a special people. You can see it in your creativity. So they know how to go in there and mess with your melanin and your skin and put different food out there that cause your melanin will give you creativity, will give you strength, will give you your eyesight, will give you all that. So they put it in our food. So if you know what is in your food, then you know what not to eat. See, I wish I would have learned at a young age, but I started learning later. But it's a lot of ailment that I probably would have had if I would continue eating the food that they told me not to eat. But I'm just saying, God, in Hebrews 13:8, Jesus Christ, the same yesterday and today and forever. A lot of times you will see why I don't call him Yahushua, because I'm trying to get a message to you, because all the thing you know is Jesus Christ. Well, that is not his real name. So I'm going to let that sink in, but then you'll understand what I'm talking about. If I just say Yahushua, you'll get confused. So I say Jesus Christ sometimes. But Jesus Christ, the same yesterday and today and forever. He never changes. But the church telling you he changed. See, God told us to separate from these people. He told us to separate from Ammon, Moabites, Hittites, Ethiopians, Palestine, which is Africa. All the other, we got 12 nations that we can choose from. We got 12 nations that we can marry. You can marry Judah, which is a so-called Negro. You can marry Benjamin, which is so-called West Indian, which is Trinidad. You can marry Levi, which is Haiti. You can marry Simeon, which is Dominican Republican. Zabulon, which is Panamanian. You can marry Ephraim, which is Puerto Rican. Manasseh, which is Cuban. Gad, which is North American Indian. Reuben, which is the Seminole Indian. Naphtali, which is Chile. Asher, which is Colombia. And Issachar, which is Mexicans. The name that I gave you to the side is what the white folks call you, because you don't know your real nationality. You can't go by, if you go by what they so call you and you read the Bible, you won't find yourself in it. Well, if you go by what God called you, you'll find yourself in it and you'll see who you are. You'll know that you're a great people. But until you do that, you just lost. And we got some fine, beautiful women in them nations, fine young men in them nations. Why we won't marry them? Why we have to marry Ammons is Japanese, Moab is Moabite, which is Chinese, and you got Africans, and you got other nations that we are marrying outside the nation that God gave us a choice to marry. And I'm gonna show you what happened to that when you do that outside your nation. It's a consequence behind that, and that's what I'm getting to. I want you to go to Deuteronomy. I'm gonna break it all down to you. Deuteronomy 32, 8. 32, 8. See, God divided the nation, not man. Remember white people just say that they shouldn't marry us? Well, actually, they were telling the truth. We shouldn't be marrying them. We should be married outside the nation of Israel. God even said it. But who want to listen to God? Nobody. Christianity Church ain't gonna tell you that. They say, come as you are, marry who you want to marry. And you can see, I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna take my time to get to it. When the Most High divided the nation, their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, it separated me, the sons of Adam. Everybody came from Adam. Noah came from Adam. So everybody came from Adam. So when he said he separated the sons, he separated the people. Even the white folks and the Chinese and the Japanese, everybody came from Adam. Adam was the beginning of the creation, so everybody came from him. So when he said he separated, he gave everybody their land. He set the boundaries of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. See, he's okay. Moabite, this your land. Well, I'm gonna give them by their name because y'all don't quite understand these the names that they're really called. Japanese, I'm giving you your land. I gave you Japan. Chinese, I'm giving your land. I gave you China. Africa, I'm giving your land. I gave you Africa. White people, I'm giving your land. I gave you United States of America, Europe, and all the other countries. But I say them, but I know their real name. But I'm giving you the name so you can recognize them among you today. So God separated them. But guess what God said? For the Lord portion is his people Jacob. God gave us a portion, but they took our land from our land is Israel. God is our portion. God is our leader. Everybody else got a king, got somebody over there. They got a prime minister, king. We don't have a earthly king. Or we got our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who we ignorantly call by the name of Yahweh. See, but we want to worship their God. We want to marry into their God. And when you marry into their God, it changes you. You lose yourself. You don't, the women will make you change into their nationality. You get a black man, no thing you know, he wearing tights and like a woman. Because the white people, they free spirit. I want to do this, I can do anything I want. Because you come to the United States of America, every country come here, they can do what they want. So you go, you marry a Chinese, you gotta marry a Buddha. You know what I'm saying? You go, you got these customs, you gotta follow all of them customs. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna show it to you. It's good. I gotta give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you. Go to Matthew 24. Matthew 24, 7. See, but God gonna break this up though. You don't know it yet, but you gonna have to make a choice with these foreign women you marry outside your nation, because they gonna make the choice for you. But you gonna have to make a choice, and God gonna make sure you make the choice, because this is the New Testament. You can't say the Old Testament. This is the New. But why the pastor nobody won't get on this here and tell you this? Because they don't care about you. I love you. Criticism is harsh sometimes, and people don't love criticism. They love everything to be happy-go-lucky when everything ain't happy-go-lucky. For a nation shall raise against nation. See, you don't know you're a nation. See, all the other people got nation, but you think you are a people, but they got nation. You got the Chinese nation, the Japanese nation, you got the European nation, you got the German nation, but a Negro got people. They tell you you are a people. They tell you are a color, but they don't tell you you are a nation. But God let you know you are a nation. Because he said, for nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. We have our kingdom. But they don't let you know. You can't know if you got a nation. If you don't know you have a nation, you don't know you have a kingdom. So kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famine with no food, and pestilence, which means disease, earthquake in devilish places. You see earthquakes all over the world. God let you know you're going to have to fight one another. You're going to have to contend for this food. You had to fight for the disease. Because right now, if you pay attention to, I just joined Utah. What they call that? Tip Top. And I see all these brothers on there bringing out the truth. See, they just trying to let you know you're a nation. You got women saying that our women are disobedient, unsubmissive. They have learned the ways of the so-called other nation. Our black women's coming out now because they waking up too. So they let you know, because all our women want to know if a man got money. But men will turn around and say, I'm not giving you my money. So guess what? What do you think the women doing? Because they don't want to work. They got lazy. They don't want to work. So what they own these social media selling their body because they can't make the money that they want. Because these men, they say, well, we don't want a man, but who you doing this for? You trying to get a man. So you doing this to a man. So everything you do is directly trying to please the man, which is us. But you say you don't want us, but everything you're doing is heading toward us. Everybody hate Kevin Solomon. I think his name Kevin. He got some harsh views, but he got some more righteous views. Women just not being used to tell the truth. He even got these feminine men coming up discrediting him because we have been taught by other nations. 9 times out of 10, that guy probably was raised by his mama, or either he was raised by another nation, even though he might be a so-called Negro. I'm just trying to let you know this. So you're going to be nation again. You're going to have to choose. God going to make sure you choose. You're going to have to choose because guess what? I promise you, they going back to their home because you think they're going to want to starve with you. They're going to go back to where they're supposed to be. So you're going to end up eventually going back to your area too. I want you to go to 1 Kings. This is one of the great kings, our great kings. One of the greatest kings the Hebrew Israelites ever had. One of them. 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 1. I'm going to read all the way to verse 6. I want you to listen to me carefully. This is a great king of ours. Everybody loves Solomon, but listen to what happened to him when he disobeyed laws. He disobeyed what God told us to do about to intermingle with the other nations. You got all the other nations we could have, all the other 12 tribes we could mess with. But we want to go outside this. Why don't you don't think that's kind of odd? The first thing you want to do is go marry a white man. The first thing you want to do is go marry a white woman. You'll marry them before you marry a Chinese or Moabite or anybody else. But ain't that odd? But all the other nations you'll marry them, but they'll be the first one you want to go to with them. First thing you hear our black woman say, I'll go outside my nation with you. I said, so who you gonna marry? A white man. See, because they've been indoctrinated by their rules. They refuse. 40% of the black women will never see marriage. You will die alone with a dog or a cat. 40%. We only make up 13% of the population of the United States of America. So you mean to tell me that 40% of you women will never see marriage, you will die alone, and you are doing that now. You accomplish it and say that I don't need a man, but then you would get on Instagram and all the other social medias. I found out it's a social media group that I don't even remember what it was, the name of it, but I know where it's like if you feel like you want to have sex, you just call somebody, y'all meet and just have sex. So because rather than be committed to a man, you just do the other things. See what I'm saying? It's basically for money. If I want to have sex with you, give me $50, $60, you can have sex with me that night. No strings attached. See, but this is what God's saying will happen to us. This is nothing new. This is what we've been doing. But King Solomon loved many strange women. God called the women strangers because you're outside of your nation. He called the women strange because you're outside of your nation. Together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, which is the Chinese, Ammonites, which is the Japanese, Ammonites, which is so-called whites, Sudanaya, and Hittites, them are Africans. So you'll marry all of them. That's what he did. And say, of the nation concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them. That means marry. Neither shall you come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon craved unto these in love. See, because guess what? Like I say, once you marry these people outside your nation, then you get introduced to Christmas. Then you get introduced to Thanksgiving. Then they ain't getting this because you can be free. And so you see our men dressing feminine, but still have a woman because that white woman or the other nation have told you can do this because now you worshiping their God. See what I'm saying? Now you're worshiping their God. I want you to see what I just read to you. This King Solomon. I want you to read this part. Lord said unto the children of Israel, you shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you. We shouldn't go to them, and we shouldn't let them come to us. Because we have to separate, because we got law, we are pure people. But guess what? We don't want to be pure. Our blood is tainted. Why you you think when you see a guy and you start talking about your nation, your cousin, he has to split because he got a white mama or either he got a white daddy. So he don't know what side to choose. Go look at the movie with Calvin Kaepernick. He did on Netflix. You can pull it up. He knew that he didn't know who his parent was, but he knew inside him that he had a black in him because his father was black. But that white, they tried to make him stay white, but he knew deep inside, because you got to go see the movie. You can see the challenge he made. So when you got a biracial people, it's a challenge to them, but they don't know who to choose. But guess what? They most likely they'll choose they are black side if they get a chance to. But they try to force the white side because guess what? They say if you choose white, you'll live better. But society don't really do that. They'll shoot you if you even look like you black. So, but God told you to stay away from them because you'll follow the God. You'll follow their gods. I'm reading this out of 1 King. You talking about King Solomon. You talking about King Solomon, one of the smartest men ever. So you talking about King Solomon. I'm gonna keep reading. He had 700 wives, princes, 300 concubines, and his wife turned away his heart because they turned away to different gods. So now you got a black man that married outside his race, he'll turn away. He didn't even change the way he dressed. You heard Hubert, who became the North Carolina coach, the first black coach in North Carolina. Guess what he said? I'm proud of my white wife. Because you'll turn away from your God. So you'll turn away from your religion, your laws, statutes, commandments. And that is why our women are so-called changing. They are following the custom because they'll go marry outside their nation and go marry a white man. Think they're gonna have a better life. But now your kid can free, but you see, you don't even know the consequences about what you're doing. Your earthly thing might be all right, but guess what? Your child will die and go to the so-called hell. Because God coming back to destroy Esau. So now you are the son of you are the seed of your father, even though you're a black woman and you go by this notion of inch of blood, mean you black or pinch of blood. No, God don't go by no foolishness of that. That's something you made up. God go by the man's seed. So if a white man marry a black woman, he have a baby, he's a white baby. So when God come back and destroy the other nation like he said you do, it's deep for you, but you'll never understand. But your fly by mind don't know you killing your child. You murdering your child because if he marry outside that nation, if it be a man, that's what it be. But see, then you got to understand this here. Because women gonna say, well, what about the man? God is of the seed. So if a white man do ignorantly and go out there and marry a white woman, a Chinese woman, that baby's still black. He's 99.9% black. So women think they are the carrier. You're not the carrier. You're only 1%. That baby have a small characteristic of you, but he's 99% that man. That's why you act just like your father. Ain't that what y'all say? See, but you don't want it when it fits you, you don't want to work. When it fits you, you want to work, but when it don't fit you, you want to change back and say you are the mother. But check this out. I'm gonna give you just an example. Think about it. In 1965, see, I'm like Calvin. I go by numbers. Numbers never fail. When 1960, the Bible go by numbers. You go, what do you think called the book of numbers? So if I go back in 1965, before Martin Luther King came along and made you start intermingling with these people, 80% of the households had a husband in it. After that, it decreased all the way down to now it's like 40%. Maybe 45% of the household had the father in the household. So the women is taking care of the children. Y'all women are a failure. Y'all are a failure because 85% of the prison is filled with black men. And out of 85% of the children filled with black men, 40% of that household is ran by a woman. So you are a failure in what's going on if you go by numbers. But y'all never want to see that. You are a failure. You need to give that child back to his father for his father. Why you think the prison? Why you think the young kids killing our elderly? Why you think the young kids disrespect our elderly, disrespecting their parents, disrespecting their mama? Because in the Bible, Isaiah, he said, the woman shall raise little monsters. These are little monsters out here in these streets killing each other every day and every night. But you, with your stubborn, finite mind, will not recognize that. See, but God got a way of showing you, because guess what? Now your children killing you. Now your children disrespecting your mama. Now you scared of your own mama. Now you scared of your own child. Let me get back to it. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wife turned away his heart after other gods. And his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of his father David. Because guess what? See, Solomon started worshiping women, and when he got old, he took his heart away from God. Why do you think God took everything away from him? Because he took his heart away from God after marrying these strange women, these strange other, and they start making you worship other God. You know that you know when you marry these people, you go into their nation. You might marry a so-called Jewish man. Now you gotta be a Jewish woman with a bean on your head. See what I'm saying? You start worshiping, you marry a Chinese man. Now you got to be a Chinese man, marry a Buddha. See what I'm saying? And you start worshiping these women, these people who Muslim. Now you got to be a Muslim. Now you're being a rock. See what I'm saying? This is the way we live. This is the way it's going to be until God come back and change things. I want you to. I'm going to catch something now. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to show you something now. This Nehemiah. I was listening to some guys this morning. They said it was God. Go back to giving them what they gave. He gave Nehemiah. But right now we're in a new time, so we have to teach. Nehemiah will go out there and thrust you through. Nehemiah will kill you if you marry another outside your race. Y'all read Nehemiah, but why that pastor never told you about Nehemiah? I'm gonna give you a little history of what Nehemiah did. Nehemiah. Go to Nehemiah. Go to chapter 13, verse 23. That's where I'm gonna start at. Check this out. I want you to listen. I want you to listen very carefully. In those days, also saw I. This is Nehemiah talking now. In those days, also saw I Jews. You gotta remember, you are the Jews. You are the true Jews. I done went through tons of evidence showing that you are the black man. You are the true Jew, and you ought to know that now. It's nothing new to you now, because all y'all, I talked to plenty of people. They all recognize that God is a black man. Jesus Christ is a black man, so called. You all recognize that. Y'all recognize that God said, "You, if you, when Jesus Christ, so called, said, y'all see me, you see my Father." So that means if you see him, you're his Father black too. So you all recognize that, but you don't want to recognize the law. In those days, also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod of Ammon. That means they Japanese women. In Moab, which is mean they Chinese women, and their children spake half the speech of Ashdod, which is a Japanese woman. Because guess what they do? A woman is the first teacher. So when you have a black son, you go and teach, you married outside the first thing that woman is going to do is teach you their nation and not your father nation, which is so-called Hebrew Israelite. They're gonna teach you that nation. That's why you got on people when they adopt our children, what they say, they got a thing here, how you braid their hair, how you do it, because they don't know our custom. They'll never know it because God ain't gonna give it to them. So when you marry outside your nation, now a woman is the first one, the first teacher at home. So she gonna teach your son to be a feminine man, be as you can be. When she get him, she gonna make him change to wear a dress. He can wear a dress now. Now you got our wicked women following their custom, because they married these men, they turned the man children in gay boys. Like Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. Every movie she ever played, and she played a masculinity man. She's a wicked woman. So what she did is she mad at him because he cheated, and you'll never understand that. Why? Because until you read the Bible and read books, what she did. So what she said, guess what? I'm gonna turn because she wanted a baby. She wanted a daughter at first. Remember, they couldn't have one. They had to go get this injection out to have a baby. So when he went out there and had a daughter, guess what they think they did to him? She got his son and changed him into a little woman. The man never even had a chance to kiss a girl, never even a chance to have sex. So how he know what he don't like or not? This is wickedness. This is witchcraft. But she gonna pay for what she's doing. And there's a lot of Eve are doing that. I'm trying to, we mean black women. And their children spake half the language, and could not speak the Jew language, but according to the language of each people. See, they was learning every time a black man went and married these women, the kid lost their language. They couldn't speak Hebrew because we spoke Hebrew. That's why you can't understand this stuff now. That's why they say always somebody speech class when we coming up that we couldn't speak because you got vertebrae in your back of your neck that verbulate the language when you because you certain word you can pronounce when you use your tongue. But guess what? They took it away from us. They were back then in slavery. They put masks over the woman. I told you, the woman, the first teacher. They put masks over the woman on their face. I got this. Give me a second, please. Give me 1 second. I got this. See the mask right there? See the mask? They put the mask over the woman and have razors in the mask. So the women couldn't teach the kid Hebrew because when we came here, we knew Hebrew. So if every time they opened, if they tried to speak, it would cut their tongue up. So that's how devilish they were. So they knew that the woman was the first beginning of the teaching of the child. So if she was going, and they're going to have that man do most, he didn't do the most to teach, the woman did. So what would happen if she tried to speak her language, it would cut her tongue. They did that for generation to generation until after a while you forgot how to speak Hebrew. So that's why now you speak what you speak now. Now you go take a class and learn it. And I contend, this Nehemiah now, and I contend with them. Contend, and he went up to him. What the hell you doing marrying these Moabite women? That's how he was. What the hell you doing? He was real forceful on this. You gonna see what I'm gonna read where he thrust them through with a sword. He cursed them. Mother F, you son of a sucker. He did that, and that's what he did. Because he didn't play. They didn't play back then. Right now, you can carry to do it, nobody let me say it, but it's gonna come a time when God said that he's gonna hunt you down. Okay, but check this out. He smoked certain, he beat them. Smoke mean kill. I smitten them. He killed some of them. He beat some of them. He walked down the street and just beat the dog mess out of them for marrying outside of the race. He plucked off their hair and made them swear by God. This man went on there and yanked their hair, their beards, because they disobeyed the law of God and made them swear to God that they'd never marry another one again. It was serious business. That's how serious it was. But now you in here in this land and you done took it and made it so simple and easy. That's why we destroyed as a people. Because if we leave them alone and I ain't talking about go to Egypt, go to Africa, it's not that time yet. Go to the place when God says separate yourself from them, he ain't talking about follow the law, our laws. Don't celebrate these Christmas. Just imagine how much money they'll go bankrupt if because we just big, we the less people. We 13% of the population of the United States of America, but we spend more than 1.3 trillion. We spend more than nations. We spend more money than nations. We spend more money than the United States in debt to China. But you will never understand it because you don't read. You scared of reading because you're scared it might change your thought pattern. So this man said that he plucked off the hair. Okay, women, let me see that you got weave, and let me see a man come in and yank your weave out your head because you married a white man. Okay, would you see a man with a beard, he got dread, and Nehemiah come yank your, and he smoke you and beat you and kill you. You know what I'm saying, people? Yea, shall you not give your daughter unto their son, nor take their daughter unto your son for yourself? Did not Solomon of Israel sin these? He sinned by these things? I'm just trying to tell you, people, that was it. We must not marry these nations because they changing us as we do. And marriage not necessarily you sleeping with them. Marriage can mean you married into their nation. You drinking their wine. Wine mean you drinking their knowledge. You taking on their philosophy. You drunken with wine, not necessarily mean you drunken with regular drinking wine, but you drunken with their knowledge. So you out here doing their stuff. Our women are copying off of them. That's why they're breaking that stuff. That's why 40% of the listen to me, women. 40% of y'all would never see marriage. You're gonna die alone with a dog or a cat. Kevin Solomon not lying. Math don't lie. Because you are unsubmissive. You have been taught wrong. You have been taught by a single mother who is single, who will die alone, so you follow the same pattern. So you won't even see that. You think all your assets is in your butt, in your titties, in your hip. Of course, we're going to look at that. Guess what? We're going to even go with it. We're going to get you. We're going to do what we have to do to it, but guess what? We'll never marry you. That's why, guess what? You wonder why you can have all this success, have all this glory, and a man will go to Burger King and marry one of them women. He been with you for 10 years, fathered you 3 kids, and guess what he do? He'll leave your butt and go marry a woman from McDonald's in 2 months, because guess what? And guess what? That woman be submissive. She will love him unconditionally, and he can bring her up in the standard that he want, because all you women too far gone. If you already 40, 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna see no marriage. And then if you got bad health, no credit, you always depending on him for everything, you got a piece of job, you can't do nothing on your own, you'll never see marriage. He'll treat you good, he'll respect you, but he'll never marry you, because you don't have what it takes to be married. Y'all think we just dumb. Women, I'm telling you something, men not dumb. Y'all think y'all using us. Y'all ain't using us. We using y'all. But you'll never get there, because your head so stuck. You so stubborn. Rather than commit, you think you can get over on a brother. But guess what? You want a 1%er. A 1%er is somebody making over 6 figures. So they say that, and which is true. There's more women than there is men. So all y'all want a 1% of a man. So if you break that down, that 1% become a third. So don't you think you're gonna be sleeping with a man over a man over a man over a man? Y'all gonna have to share, because you so fixed on money that you gonna really your knight in shining armor might be a garbage man making $45,000 a year. He have you living better than a man making 6 figures, because he gonna love you and make you happy. With that man who got that 1% that you all want, he got 5 other women he got to contend with. You think he gonna spend all the time on you? No, you just a passer. Of course, he got the money to spend money on you. So if you're willing to just be never get married, that's your lifestyle. You chose that. Know what you choose? You said, well, all the niggas ain't know. You chose that nigga that wasn't no good. You made a choice. You had a woman on thing and say she got 3 kids, and her youngest baby 11 months old, and she thinks she's gonna get somebody. She want another man. If that man didn't marry you, what you think the next man gonna do? He's not gonna take on all that baggage. And you got, I'm telling you how wicked it's getting. A woman is pregnant. She's 5 months pregnant on a talk show with this women have a talk show saying she want a man. She didn't even have the baby yet. Women, you have to think about what you're doing. You have to sit back, think about what you're doing. Shalom, my people. Shalom, my people. I love you. I truly do. I love you. Shalom.